Okay, Keiran Piggot here, partnership with Leapfrog TV and BOSH Boxing Promotions, and I'm here with BOSH Boxing Promotions promoter. So let's strip it right back, Brad. What got you into boxing?
Going back in the day when I was a little kid, I was always getting into a little bit of trouble with fighting altercations and bringing the transport police and the police to my mum's door where she said you need to start channeling your aggression. So Michael Bailey, he was the second seed under Frankie Gavin, fantastically talented boxer. He was friends with my sister and he said, well, you can boxing with me, and he brought me down to Birmingham City Amateur Boxing Club in the Spark Hill under Frank O'Sullivan, and that's where it started, man. That's where it started.
How old was you when you started?
I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
I only did it for 10 months. 14 years old. I got humbled big time. My first lesson in boxing, what was hard, Frank said, train and show me you can commit to boxing for at least 3 weeks. Show me you can work hard, and then I'll let you spar. So I worked hard. My mum bought me this £5 head guard that was massive, and these massive 16-ounce pillow gloves, and I thought I was the man, and I was eating after about 3 weeks, he called my name up, and I thought, bang, I'm not going to have it, and got my bum shield in, got my massive head guard on, and then stood and waited at the ring, and he pulled up this younger lad. He looked about 6 stone, really wet, and I was a bit of a chubby ginger kid.
Yeah.
Thought I was hard.
Yeah.
And I was staring at this kid, and I was thinking, I'm gonna ever this kid.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, and he just looked at me, and he just laughed and smiled, and then we got into the ring, and I got in there, tried every windmill punch I could, and he absolutely battered me.
Yeah.
Bloody nose. Push lip, and then I walked over to Frank O'Sullivan, and he said, lesson number 1 in boxing, son, this is a sport. You're not very good at it, but you can get better at it.
Yeah.
He's an amateur champion. Get back on the bags and start working, and it really humbled me then. I wanted to work, so I only did about 10 months. And then I was playing rugby at school and snapped my leg, and it took me out of the game for a bit, and I didn't go back there until I was 20.
Oh really? So there's a long gap, isn't it?
Long gap.
So what was you? So you say you was 14 when you started.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say boxing kind of put you in the straight and narrow.
Yeah. So
But would you say that kind of come later on in life when you was about 20?
Yeah, 100%. As I said, I broke my leg when I was 14. Everybody who knows me knows I love my food.
Yeah.
And to keep me happy, when I was in a cast up to here, doing no movement, my mum was feeding me chocolate and feeding me sweets, and I put on loads of weight. And when I went back to school, they used to try and, I wouldn't say bully me, but used to try and take the mick.
Yeah.
And because I learned how to use my hands, they used to say, come on then, mate, let's have a fight after school.
Yeah.
Which is where I started fighting a lot, and thinking I was the man, and had this ego really. I wasn't a nasty kid, but I wasn't sure to
stood up for yourself.
If someone wanted to fight me.
Yeah.
And that's when I started getting into trouble then, with the college kids on the train, and as I said, the train man before, and then when I got 18, I got into a relationship. I was smoking weed, I was taking other sorts of substances when I was going out, and I was selling it. And I thought I was the man. And I was getting into fights, and then I brought the police to the door one more time, and my idea just grabbed me by the face and said, you do this one more time, son, and I'm not joking you are out of my life. I'll change your keys on the door, and you got to go and fend for yourself.
Yeah.
Why don't you start boxing again?
Yeah.
That's when it started changing me and directing me into being a better human being and a better person. I was on the path to being an idiot.
Yeah.
And when I started boxing, it really did mellow me and humble me, and created a better person.
Yeah, there's definitely a few people out there that can relate to that story.
100%.
Because I think definitely boxing, it opens so many doors. So you've got that side of it. Let's bring it to the other side, the competitive side. How old was you when you first had, first competition or first fight?
My first fight, I was 20 years old, and this is a cool story actually, because I thought I was the man. So I was boxing with Ian at Stevie B's. He's the one that first got me into boxing, and his training was good. We used to do a lot of sparring with Chris Meir and Shane Flaherty, and we used to get some good rounds, and my boxing improved, but I thought I was the man, guys. And because I started boxing when I was like 15 and a half stone, I was heavy.
Yeah.
And then because I trained a lot and I dieted well, my weight started coming down. They matched me up against someone at middleweight, which was super middleweight, which was 76 kilos. And I weighed in on the day about 68. I was much smaller than my opponent.
Yeah.
I was 61. but they didn't really care about the matchups. And I thought I got called, I think his name was Andrew Lewis. And when we faced off, man, I remember looking, mate, this kid's fucking massive. I thought, you know what, I sold 100 odd tickets. There was a lot of people in there. Because Brad was the guy that used to fight those. And as soon as the bell came out, I don't know what I was doing. I thought I was like Floyd Mayweather. I was boxing my hands down. And this guy's running at me, right and cut from his hips. And he threw a shot, right. I'm not joking you. I must have leant back like this. And he caught me on my chin. I remember seeing my feet above the ropes and it bang on the deck.
Not a nice feeling.
Nah, I remember getting up, but I never, you know when you see like people get the Jennings and stuff, I didn't have that. I remember standing up, right, grabbing the rope for stability and watching my feet move and not feeling them. I was thinking pop, pop, pop. And then I turn around and it's just like everything refs in my face, boy. And everyone was all silent, and then he came out again, and because I did so much training, I was fit.
Yeah.
I survived the first onslaught. He came at me again, come swinging again, dropped me again for a second time, silence, got back up, then the bell went. This guy was spent, so he tried to knock me out, I survived. And I remember eating my face and he slapped me in my face and he goes, look at him over there. And I looked over and he was breathing and he goes, he's fucked, stick it on him.
Yeah.
So the bell came out for the second round, I came out. He threw another wild right hook, and there's a good photo actually. I slipped again, like an idiot with my hands down. And there's a photo of the fist going past my face. And the next shot, I've leant back in, I've landed a right and dropped him straight to his knees. And he survived that count. Second time he got off, and I just windmilled, and the ref waved it up. So my first introduction was boxing. First round got dropped twice. Second round I come out and stopped him, and it was like, mate, best boys I've ever experienced.
Yeah, it sounds like a Rocky fight.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was really, really cool.
Good. So that was your first fight. How did it go step by step then? How many actual unlicensed boxing you say?
I had 10, yeah, unlicensed. I didn't go, obviously, I did a little bit of like the amateur style boxing when I was a kid. That shit was long ago forgotten about. And then the unlicensed route, it was all, don't get me wrong, I've trained in grade gyms, trained in combat sports and that, I trained all green, but I never really, I don't know what, I didn't ever understand the grasp of the sport, which is to hit somebody and don't get hit.
Yeah.
I didn't care about getting hit. I used to work so hard in the gym and on the road, my fitness was better than everybody else's, so anytime I had a spar or a fight, that was it, game on, I'm going forward and we'll see how long you can last. And I used to get pinged sometimes, but the second round I'd have you, third round I'd have you. And that's where I got my success in white collar. I used to face a lot of people who were better than me, because I was so fit, I used to cause so much pressure. I used to win the fights, so yeah, I had 10 fights. I lost one title fight, split decision, got dropped twice again.
I think I was at that. That was with Jono, yeah. I remember being as a little kid. Yeah.
And again, it was a bit bigger than me. Big puncher. I remember taking some big hits up him, and two separate rounds, got dropped twice. But I outboxed him every single second out of the others, and lost on a split decision. And again, humbling and upsetting. We gave him the drive to work harder.
Yeah.
I think that was my fifth fight. I was 4-0, then went to 4-1, and then I went all the way up to 9-1 there.
Yeah.
Winning the title against Nico, and that really set me up then. That really set me up for the next step.
Yeah. So I'd say the normal route for a pro boxer would be amateurs, do well in the amateurs.
And that's the right route. I always recommend everybody go to the amateurs and learn the sport.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of respect for the sport, but I also want to try and show everybody there is another avenue. If you get put into amateur boxing as a kid and you're starting when you're 18, 19, 20, it's not too late. You can still do something with it.
Yeah. But it's quite unheard of for an unlicensed boxer then to go pro. But it has been done, you know. There is people out there that have done it. So that's obviously what you've done. So you want to touch on what happened after your unlicensed journey.
So I was sparring. I don't know how I got to meet Frankie Gavin, but I remember he asked me to go down and spar some of his lads. Joe Thornton, another couple of lads that was in there. They just took on a fight to fight Nico for the title. And Nico was the man. And as I said, I had a good record and I was beating people, I was slapping people. And Frankie said, come down and spar my lads then.
Yeah.
And I went down there and I peppered them both, I was better than them both and I was fitter than them both. And then at the end of the sparring session, he goes, come and spar me on Saturday. And Frankie Gavin was a superstar, mate.
Yeah.
And I was texting my dad and my parents, and I was like, no, I'm sparring Frankie Gavin on the weekend. And I'm doing well, I'm getting better at this sport. And I was addicted and I loved it. And I went to spar Frankie. And gosh, mate, I got humble.
Yeah.
I couldn't hit him.
Yeah.
And when I say I couldn't hit him, I couldn't land a glove. He was so good, so skillful. And again, it's just humbling, isn't it? You realise that this is a sport, and he's top level, and we hit it off as well. We both had the same sort of personality.
Yeah.
And I worked hard, and then when I took on the fight with Nico, he said, I want to train you for that. I want to train you for that.
So for people who don't know, Nico is now professional, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's doing really well.
I think he's 3-0.
3-0, yeah. And he came from the same background as yourself, unlicensed.
Yeah.
I think he even did a bit of kickboxing back in the day.
Yeah, that's what I got told. I got told he had an ample amount of kickboxing fights, and then he went over to the unlicensing. He was beating everybody, and he held these belts, and he defended them a couple of times. And how he came about it, I don't know what it is, mate. Sometimes I feel like it's just meant to be.
Yeah.
I remember I was in the changing rooms getting ready for my fight, and I was sparring. I think it was like Corey Gibbs or Tian Gibbs at Frankie's gym, and I was doing well against them. And I was fit, and I remember looking through the changing room, looking at the ring, and seeing Nico in a position like that. But he's throwing a good solid jab. His chin was his shoulder was protecting his chin. His hand was tight. I remember looking and thinking, he's good. I want to fight him.
Yeah.
Then I seen he had the belt, and so I went over to Keith, showdown promoter, and said, "Who's that kid? And what weight's he fight at? I want to fight him." And I was currently fighting at super welterweight, 69 kg, and I weighed 67 for the fight. And he goes, "You fought to 63 kg." I said, "Sweet, let's do it. All right, let's make it."
Yeah.
So I called Nico out, and Nico said, "Nah, he's going pro." So I said, "If you're ready for the pro rounds, let's go 3 minutes instead of 3-2 to see if you're ready for it."
Yeah.
Thank God he took the bait, because
Yeah.
over 3-2s, I reckon he probably would have beat me.
Oh,
He's
really?
better.
Yeah.
But giving me more time in the ring, that
So you
gives
just
me a chance to
dogged
work
it out.
and work and
Yeah,
work and work,
yeah.
and that's how we went.
Fair play.
See?
Good stuff. So after that, so that was your last unlicensed fight?
I had one more after I fought Ant Phillips over 8-2s. Ant's a tough kid. And
Yeah.
I beat him every round. And then that's when Frankie was saying, "Look, you could do this. I'm going to introduce you to my manager, Errol Johnson, BCB manager. He's going to come and have a look at show him footage of your fight, and then go down to the gym in Wednesbury and have a spar. And if you do well, then potentially you can have a contract."
Yeah.
So I went down, and I think I sparred Kane Baker for my first one. Kane Baker weren't fit at him, and I just smothered him, and everyone was impressed. Next thing I know, he's offering me a contract, and I couldn't really believe it, man. Like, getting a professional contract is like, even still to this day, it's actually madness.
Yeah.
I just worked hard, and I wasn't good at boxing. I didn't really understand the aspects of the sport, but I was just tough, and I liked fighting, innit? I liked it.
Yeah. So you've been there, you've done it, you've got the pro contract. For anyone who's younger, what would you say to them if they're looking at going down that route?
You went to the unlicensed route, the amateur route.
So unlicensed, so your route, unlicensed into pro boxing.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody?
The advice, I never shy away from a challenge. Always turn up for your sparring sessions. So I've got cheap teeth. I used to, you wash your gum shield. I used to wash my gum shield, go to the gym, and then be like, "Sparring, bro." Yeah. And then I'd go to the bag, and then I was like, "Shit, what gum shield?"
Yeah.
You know it yourself. It's a typical classic excuse. Someone not really wanting to spar
Yeah.
when the gum shield's in the bottom of the bag. And I used to say, I want to spar, but I'll spar you without one. And I used to think to myself, I'll bite my teeth. And then after a couple of rounds, you don't forget. So I got chips all over my teeth because of that shit. So I wouldn't say ever shy around from challenges. You learn from sparring the better people. When you get pinged in the spars, it's very fine that you learn the most, dogging it out. And just hard work. I used to like working hard on it. Even when there's no one watching, you're in the gym on your own, graft hard, mate. But also the advice I would give from learning from my mistakes, understand the sport. I never really took a grasp to thinking to myself, like, this is a point scoring game. Like, this is how many times can I hit you and how many times you're not going to hit me. I didn't care about that. And I was just reckless and going forward. So to someone who's starting their boxing journey, hard work, never shy away from a challenge, and understand the sport of boxing, don't get hit, work on good defensive drills.
Yeah, good. So would you kind of say he was the opposite of that then?
Yeah, 100%, bro. It sounds weird, doesn't it?
Is that why your memory's so shit?
Who the fuck are you? But it sounds weird though, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
We'll touch on that in a minute. That's what it is though. Like, I just, there's something about when you get in there, there's like a fear in it. I love the fight and I love the sparring. And there's like a fear when you say you're sparring somebody and they're a big puncher and you're like, "Shit, man, yeah, that's fucking jitters," you know yourself.
Yeah.
And then you get in there and you take one and it's like, "Mate, it ain't that fucking bad. It ain't that bad." Do you know what I'm saying? So I used to wake me up. I remember sparring when I fought Nico, mate. I was shitting myself. I was absolutely shitting myself. I knew this kid was much better than me. And I was fearful of him just landing one on the chin and putting me to sleep or being embarrassed in front of everybody. And the first round, I come out wild and I threw a lazy jab and he leant back and got crack. And he cracked me straight on the chin and it felt like a feather, mate. And I felt to myself, is that it? And that used to get me going there.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the fear of the punch had gone, I quite liked getting it. And I used to wait, it doesn't give me the fire in the belly then.
Yeah.
That's what I believe a fighter is.
Yeah.
I train loads of people and they're like the idea of boxing and they do good in the fights. And it comes to sparring, they take a dig and they're like, their demeanour changes and their face changes. But I've got other people that take a dig and they get like a fire in their bellies and they think, I'm getting you, I want to get you back. That's what I believe is a fighter. I think you need the two. I think you need the skill and need to learn. You'll get so far being a skillful fighter if you don't like having a scrap.
Yeah, you can have all the skills, you need to have the heart, don't you?
You need to have a chin.
But then it's vice versa. If you have too much heart, not the skills, you know.
Yeah, like me. Then it went downhill then.
Yeah. So let's touch on that then. So obviously your pro boxing journey got cut short very early. Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah.
Explain what happened there.
I got signed and I was given as coach as Malcolm Malvin. Now let me tell you, I love Malcolm to the earth. I've got so much respect for the man. He used to do all of the training for us. Excuse me. He used to do all the training for us and not expect anything.
Yeah.
Even when I got paid for my contract, he wouldn't take any money. I had to force him and buy him gifts because he just loves the sport and he's a good man and he works really hard. And I'll tell you, it's the hardest 2 years of my life. Malcolm's training was no other training.
Yeah.
He used to make me go to the trenches every single session and it was hard. And when we first got together, I thought we were a match made in heaven because I had an aggressive professional style. I love being in the pocket.
Yeah.
Malcolm's exactly the same.
Yeah.
And he got to success from that.
Yeah.
So I thought, boys, we're gonna do really well together. And don't get me wrong, he improved my boxing massively. But what I really needed was the amateur style. I needed to be tall, don't get hit, jab away. The two people that I fought, I wouldn't call him journeyman. Malcolm Mooney is a gatekeeper. He comes to try and beat you. Whereas you see sometimes journeymen, they are in there to do a job to lose, give them the rounds. I had someone straight away. A lot of people told us not to take the fight, but me and Malcolm both very close. So we'll fight anyone. So I just had a dust up and I really needed to be taught the opposite of being aggressive. I needed to be taught the art of boxing and to hit somebody and not get beat. But when it comes to my profile, I had a guy called Michael Mooney. I think he had 7 boxing fights at the time. I want to say about 14 wins, something like that. So he was a guy that would come and beat.
Quite well known in the Midlands as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And he's a tough motherfucker. And you know what? It was my favourite fight ever.
Yeah.
It was so sick. But we got in there and the game plan was still working down and we both met in the middle. I still believe I won the fight. When I watch it back, I outpunched him. I was busy, I was active. But it's so close. I can understand. I got a draw. We just stood in the pocket and we just had a trade us. And Malcolm Mooney threw an uppercut and he didn't get any part on my head apart from the fleshy part of my nose and it ripped my sepsis. Ooh. And I had a broken nose anyway, so I was saying luckily I said to my friends and my family, don't worry about the blood, I always bleed, so I'm going to try and get it fixed after my first fight. And he ripped my sepsis and I was carried over both of us and it was just fun, it was just great. It was just pure violence and it was like, I remember him hitting me and I'm hitting him and he would swing a shot and I'd miss and I'd be a cocky little idiot and not do all this sort of stuff. I remember him shouting at me and screaming, come on, and he had all my blood all over him. I remember thinking to myself, mate, this is sick. Yeah. And we're just slugging into that. So I had the style that would just be aggressive. I got hit too much. I got a draw. Carried on training, didn't get my nose fixed, carried on training, and then got another fight, and then I fought a guy called Dean Evans. I'm gonna let me tell you, this bloke was slippery. It was just really awkward. I was throwing and missing loads of shots, trying to be aggressive, and I've never been buzzed I've been dropped many times, but I've never been buzzed ever. And I must have threw a lazy jab. I think you can't really see it on the video that he's tripped a right hook, and he's cracked on a temple. And I remember taking a shot, looking back, and all I could see was like your white shirt. All I could see was white. There was no vision. And let's say your bells had been wrong.
Yeah.
All I could hear in my ears was like no.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking to myself, fuck, getting my guard up, taking my feet away because I could still feel myself. And then suddenly, the only way I can describe it, you know when you get into your car in the winter and it's all iced and you turn your heaters on, and then where the heaters are at the bottom of this window screen, you can see the floor. It was exactly the same. I could see his feet and he would just slowly, then I could see his shorts, and then I had Dean Evans coming towards me and I was thinking, fuck, I can't see my survive. Again, another close fight, another draw. But that was the first time I got buzzed. I went to Marbella for a little drink after. Back sparring the same day I got off the plane. And I remember taking shots on the gloves and I could feel like this weird pain in my head. It didn't feel right. Maybe I can describe it. You know, like the bit at the back of your throat, the hanging. It felt like that. It was inside my head. It was loose.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. And I was saying to Mal, he said, my head's hurting. He said, oh, you'll be all right, so which carried on. And I remember sparring Phil Green, Charlie, and he was bunking me. And my head was hurting, and I just carried on. And then I had my brain scan for my second year at medical. Straight away, the medical said this man needs to cease boxing immediately. Never take any more blows to the head.
Yeah.
There's been a change in his brain scans. It's affected my frontal lobe. What they said was you've got fragmentation posteriorly and anteriorly to your septal leaflets. Now to me, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So I've been taking my license taken away from me. My first thing, I was upset, I got depressed. I was thinking, I was like bare knuckle. Everyone then saying, Brad, stop being a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Researched into the damage that's been done to my brain. It affects your short-term memory, which is why I do the names, like the Killer Keiran.
Yeah.
So I was having clients coming in, I couldn't remember who the fuck there was. So that's why I did the names. And I feel like my memory's got better since trying to learn a language. But yeah, they said I got a brain change, can't ever box again, license has been taken. And I was working at Land Rover, and I thought that was my way out of getting out of a shitty factory, working 3 different shifts. When it got taken up, was it then I got proper low and didn't know what to do with it.
So, you see these injuries happen all the time in boxing. And I put it down to, obviously, yourself, it's a little bit different, but I always put it down to there's so many, especially with the unlicensed scene, so many dodgy promotions and dodgy things happening. Like you're hearing people fighting people 20 kg heavier, light gloves, you know, like no head guards at like 15. The problem is it's not run like amateur boxing where you've got safety and people looking after. So what made you actually want to do your first show?
My first show, like, I was watching a lot of unlicensed shows, and what I hated, when I'd spar VCB, I'll get in there, I'll get ready, and I'll grab your sparring, kind of, for instance, right, I'd go over, yes mate, you're on, bro. First question, all right, mate, how many amateurs you have? And I'd say, obviously none. I come for your license, and they used to turn their face.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them because it is shit.
Yeah.
90% of it's shit. And he used to warm me up. He used to think, yeah, watch me spar then, mate, and we'll see how I'll show you about white collar, and I'll put it on your chest, and that's what I used to do. So I used to get success from that. So when I see other shows locally to Birmingham and around the UK, most of them, as you know, they're shit. Their health and safety is pants.
Yeah.
They haven't got a good medical team. The matchups are pants. The weight's different. The gloves aren't very good. And I just looked up, there's a gap in the market, and I want to try and change the look of unlicensed boxing, specifically in Birmingham, but I'd like to branch out after in a couple of years. So I wanted to change the look of unlicensed boxing. So I don't know how it felt. I did my first show in the midway. It's a bit of a shithole, but I learned from some of the other lads, from other friends that do shows. Got some good contacts, ring hire, MC, DJs, and because I'm a good people person, they wanted to work on my show again, and I then wanted to go from the midway to a better venue, to Motion Rugby Stadium, and it cost a fortune, which took the profits away. But I wanted to show growth, and I went to Motion Rugby Stadium, got more capacity. Every show, near enough every show has been sold out. There's been some great fights. I have Extreme live on Leapfrog Fight TV, which is amazing. It's a great platform for fights, as you know, because you fought on it yourself. And I want to try and change the look of my licensed fighting. Yeah. I have a medical team that costs me a fortune because they're amazing. They do pre-medical, post-medical. They've stopped fights before because they're so wired on what's going on. A girl was holding her breath when she was making a commitment to fighting. And then afterwards, and her lips started turning blue. So the medical guy, Chris, jumped straight in and said, come over here, stuck an oxygen reader on. Her oxygen levels are too low, which is a dangerous thing. He's taking shots to the head, and he waved the fight.
That's what you need, yeah.
That's what you need, man. I want to make sure everyone who comes on fights on my show comes in happy, healthy, and they goes home happy and healthy. Whether they've won or lost the fight, they've had a great experience, and it's done safely. So that's my goal. I want to try and show safety in unlicensed boxing, and I also want to show that our boys are serious. I have a lot of amateur boxers that turn the nose up at me and my team because they're like, oh, you need to go the amateur route, and don't get me wrong, I suggest everybody to do that.
Yeah.
But I've got guys like you, like John Barber. He trains like a professional athlete. He diets like a professional athlete. He spars people to a top level, and he pins them. he's good, mate. And because he trains hard,
Yeah.
I know he's an unlicensed fighter, he deserves the respect, mate.
Yeah.
And my goal is ultimately people like that who train hard, dedicated to the sport, listen to what I say, come and fight on my show, get yourself on a good platform on Leap for Fight TV, and then eventually turn professional, which is when I created the BOSH Boxing League to the pros.
Good. And after how many shows have you done now?
This is my 8th. I've done 7 so far. This is my 8th.
This is your 8th show. Yeah. So where you are now, obviously, it's gone from strength to strength.
Yeah.
Each show's been better than the other.
Yeah.
Where would you see it in, like next year, this time next year, where would you see your show?
I see it being branched out, really. My next goal, the goal is to turn someone pro, which is happening, hopefully. When John defends his bout against Peter Standish, 2 undefeated fighters, top level, John's going to beat him and look great doing it. And then there's going to be contract managers there. They're going to sit down with John and they're going to potentially offer a contract. I know it's a little bit different now. They said the British Boxing Board of Control have changed. You need to have some sort of amateur background.
Yeah.
Whether that means John comes and does the one fight and then gets his contract. That's my goal, to turn someone pro and then do a better job than I did as a professional athlete. That is my goal ultimately. And then in the terms of the promotion, I want to branch out. I believe I'm the best promotion in Birmingham as it is. My next goal is to find a city that's local and to go into that city, put on a show, Birmingham versus Black Country we've got next year at World's Morsel Football Club. The first unlicensed show ever to do a show at World's Football Club.
Really?
Yeah, which is great. It just shows that we're a different level to everybody else. And we're going to go over to Warsaw, we're going to have the best fighters in Birmingham, and we're going to face the best fighters in Black Country, and we're going to smash them to bits. We will. And then once I've branched out there and I've got my name over there, the guy who's bringing the Black Country fighters, I'll say, right then, here's my contact details, here's all of the people that you need to run a show. You can run a show under my name, BOSH Boxing Promotions, but I want to make sure it's a good quality show, and then I want you to franchise my business in that area. Then we can go to Nottingham and potentially keep growing there. So
yeah, good. So that's the future. Let's talk about now. Show coming up. Talk about some of the fights. I know you've got some exciting fights coming up. Obviously, John and Peter.
Yeah. This is going to be by far for me the best fight the best show I've ever done.
Yeah.
I've got 2 title fights. I've got the main event, which is John's second defence of his title, which is in my BOSH Boxing League to the pros. Means if he wins it, he's going to sit down with contract managers and go for a test to see if he's ready. So John, that's the main event. I've got Peter Standish, who calls himself the Ruthless because he is ruthless, as we've seen against Kai. He comes, he's strong, he's powerful.
Yeah, he's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's 5 rounds and he's powerful. And it's something it's a problem, isn't it? It's a problem in a fight. You need to nullify it, you can't get caught with them punches. So he's coming down from up by Wigan, Manchester, with a team of fighters. And he's going to be facing the undefeated John Barber. 5 rounds, that's the main event. That's going to be an absolute barnstormer. I can't wait to see John's performance. After seeing him inspiring, I think it's going to be a clinical one. No disrespect to Peter, got a lot of love and respect for him. He's a hard working man, but this only goes one way. I cannot see John losing at all. And then starting the show, which I'm very excited about, we're a vacant lightweight title. Dirty Harry Allen, lovely kid, a real credit to the sport of boxing. Hard work, it started very heavy, like I used to. Drop, and now he's fighting at lightweight, and he's on a 5-5 winning streak, and he's been quite powerful, he's kept his power. Boxing skill is okay, he's getting better under his new coaches, but he's facing against a guy that we all know as Volvic, Nafis his name, because I didn't know that last week, but Nafis Volvic, everybody knows him as. And when I say this kid's skillful, as you know, you sparred him, he is an absolute talent. The stuff that he puts in a boxing match is unbelievable, but we know his chin's tested, needs to be tested, and his toughness needs to be tested, which is why it makes such an amazing fight. You've got fantastic levels of skill versus toughness and durability. Can this guy overcome the toughness and the durability, or can this guy overcome the skill that he's got? And I think that's going to be a banging fight to start the show. Then we've got other matchups that have been made. We've got Big Lev, who's got a point to prove against, they call him Crazy Dan, 2 big lads who punch hard. We've got loads of matchups that have gone on behind the scene. We've got some newcomers, and I believe it's going to be one of the best shows that we've ever won.
Good man.
Big sellout as well.
Exciting. And how many fights does that come to?
We've got 14.
14 fights.
Yeah, I've got a couple of people that want to get matched up. I don't want to be that white collar show that puts 20 fights on to sell as many tickets and pay-per-views as possible to earn loads of dough. I want quality.
Yeah.
The last show I was not happy with because of the away fighters that came. My controllables of the last show was all control. The uncontrollables of the away fighters were absolutely embarrassing. So I really want to try and show everybody that stuff's not happening again.
Yeah.
And now we've got a high quality show, proper fighters.
Good stuff, good stuff. Now for this show, I've noticed, I've seen on Instagram a few extra sponsors.
Yes.
Want to give them a little shout out?
Yeah, 100%. So we have got on this t-shirt, we've got yearly sponsors, we've got Contagious Supplements, a local Birmingham-based supplement company.
Best in the game.
Yeah, amazing. They sponsor you as well, Keiran. Real close friend of mine, and a guy doing a fantastic, making fantastic moves in the fitness industry. We have got GP Sports Massage Therapy, another one that you've worked with, amazing masseuse, coming on leaps and bounds. We've got Combat Sports Centre, the best combat sports centre in the Midlands, hosted by Paul Gilmore and working people like yourself. European champions. This place is the spot to go if you need to get better at combat and fitness. MMA trained by Chris Meow, one of the best in the game. And then Manaloff Conversions, a very close friend of mine, Tom Silk, and his business, where transforming your home into a bigger space to create more space, to create more value in your property. They're my 4 yearly sponsors. Just jumped on board, which is massive. They've got a real amazing business in Yakimeris, which is a Japanese cuisine restaurant located in Solihull. Started in Birmingham, it's now branching out. I train the owner, Ali, and when I say this boy is an absolute inspiration, he is an inspiration. He's jumped on board to help my business grow, and in turn we're going to try and help his business grow. We had a good video made to put everyone seeing it. I said we're doing a food up there tonight where I can eat, mate. I need to talk about the food. I can eat, so we're going to have a food up there tonight.
Are you eating that bread yet? You waiting for the next plate? You ate your bread yet?
Have you got your bad one yet?
Shut up. Don't chip me, mate, don't chip me. Oh, I'm just taking my time.
If you could get a side view of this.
We'll do it after, at the very end. Need a bigger camera.
Yeah.
Food is nice there.
Food, bang.
I do like the food. And the thing is, what's good about Yakinori, you've got everything. You know, say if you want to go, have a cheat meal, you can.
Yeah, you can have a cheat meal.
But if you're watching your diet, you can go get like a poke bowl or sushi.
That's my favourite, the poke
Yeah.
bowl.
Yeah.
So talk to me about food, bro.
Talk to you about food.
Yes, sir.
Good man. What's your go-to cheat meal?
Oh, sorry. If I was to talk about, if I had one meal left on the planet, death row, mate. It's my mum's Sunday dinner. Lamb Sunday dinner. I'm not joking you, bro. I know everyone says their mum can do a Sunday dinner. I challenge anyone to do a Sunday dinner.
Really?
And I can eat any, so she knows I can eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
I'll challenge her sometimes. So I try and put on a plate of food that I can't finish, and it's a mountain, and it's like homemade Yorkshire puddings. It's got lovely soft succulent lamb, mashed potato, roasties as well, cauliflower cheese, added broccoli into there as well. It's a nice little tip. So yeah, my mum's Sunday dinner would definitely be my last meal.
Good man.
Bang.
Good man.
How about
Nice. Might have to come round one
What
time.
about
My last death row meal. I've been asked this question loads of times. It always changes,
you? Is it?
I love a good chicken wing. I love a good chicken wing. I like the ones at the forest. Yeah, the Butcher Social.
They used to be better back in the day.
Yeah, but mate, me and Nia went Dublin one time, and we had these, like, it sounds boring, just these buffalo wings, mate, in this little Irish pub. And it was unreal.
Really?
Unreal. Oh, like, literally fell off the bone.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It was unreal.
You used to have a starter, main, and a pudding. What would you go for?
Starter, chicken wings.
Yeah.
Main, I'd probably go for, I do love a curry, but that's a random mix. So say for a start, I'd go chicken wings.
Yeah.
I'd have to go for like a nice chicken burger
Yeah.
with like loaded fries.
Yeah.
But like I'm talking like a nice chicken burger, do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And dessert, I love a cheesecake.
Yeah.
I love a
What flavour?
cheesecake.
That's
Probably Biscoff.
Yeah.
I do
Good
like
shout.
it. Yeah,
It's not a bad
Biscoff.
shout, you know. It's not a bad shout.
Yeah. What about you? Starter.
I love calamari, bro.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
Oh yeah, when I'm in Spain, there's nothing better. Watching the sun, I do my training in the morning, watching the sun go up, and then after 12 o'clock, you see all them little Spaniards like, oh, let me go, tapas, cerveza. You're like, yes, please, mate.
Yeah.
And you sit there, bro, and you get like a massive lump of calamari, or them little octopuses, a squeeze of lemons, right, a bit of salt and pepper on the top, and then having a swig of beer, right, and then just dipping one of these things into the aioli dip. chucking it.
Game changer.
And then having another, it's just the best. But
Yeah, I do love
I think
calamari.
calamari from the start, or gambas grilled was a banger. And then, and as I said, for my main it'd be a Sunday dinner, because he just got everything. The Sunday dinner would be my main. And then pudding, I'm gonna go through like a gooey chocolate brownie with like solid caramel ice cream and honeycomb sprinkle.
You've been asked this before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Good man. Good man.
People, be sure to follow Keiran Piggot, up and coming future superstar in the professional kickboxing game. Current European champion 2 times, 5 Nations champion.
Yeah.
What else?
British.
British champion.
Soon to be world.
Soon to be world champion. So make sure you give him a follow. He's going to be helping us out, giving the media partner drills, the interviews, with partnership with Lead Top Fight TV. So make sure you give him a follow. Thank you so much, Keiran.
No worries, mate. Good man. Oos.
BOSH.